Hello everybody, and welcome back to Pravus Gaming, more BioInk Redemption with our Lethal Difficulty Guide series. We are continuing the Death campaign, which we began in the last video. Go back to the morgue and play a Death Race. Race against an AI opponent. And now this one is pretty fun, because nothing can get cured. It is just about trying to kill a patient before an AI can kill a patient. To that extent, I'm probably going to go for either Head Start or Better Resources. I'm thinking Better Resources might be fine. Actually, you know what? No, we'll stick with the Emergency Bonus. Emergency Bonus is still pretty good in this case. I'll just focus on one system, burn it to the ground, so we go to the emergency room early and get the extra points, because I know that the patient is not going to be cured. So we actually can get away with that. In other situations, might not be so good. We're going to go for the collateral damage because I know that I'm going to focus primarily on the circulatory system, which has post-phlebitic syndrome, pulmonary embolism, stroke, aneurysm. All of those do a lot of extra non-primary damage, and increasing those by 30% is quite good. On top of this, we can go for a weight-related risk factor if we wanted to, and make those 50% stronger, which would mean that we can very easily kill our patient if we want to save a few points. Let's try overweight, and I'll show you how that strategy works. Recovery, we'll probably go for... Actually, none of this matters. It literally does nothing. So... just pick something up, but it doesn't matter. And then quick collapse is an absolute must. Be as lethal as possible right from the beginning. So to that extent, what do we want to focus on that kills the patient very quickly? Well, the renal system actually can be kind of cheap, but the cardio system might be our best bet. You can go for a brain aneurysm pretty early on if you can get up, like, I don't know, 17 points or something like that. And that does a lot of damage to the renal and the nervous system. Sorry, not renal. Circulatory and the nervous system, which is pretty good. Let's go ahead and speed things up a little bit, just because at this stage of the game, we're just waiting on points. We'll get some idea when our AI starts doing things. We'll have some sense of timing. Once we start seeing his patient, an AI victim, who doesn't even get a name, that's how unimportant he is, starts taking some damage, which would be great. Oop, grab all that. Okay, so we are going to go for the hypertension right away. Brain aneurysm would require smoker, so we know we want to pick that up for 12 points. I did kind of forget that brain aneurysm does require a risk factor. It has been a while since I played the Death campaign. I've been working on the Life campaign for so long in order to continue the series, but now that I'm knowing that, that is still pretty good, though. So we could go for the smoker for 12 points. Alternatively, we could start working toward a stroke. And if we go for 5 points here, this will cost 22. So let's see. This took, what was it, 5 plus 14, which is 19 plus an extra 12. We're looking at 31 points in order to be able to do this. Then we have 5, or this is 4 or 5, whatever, 10 plus this, 32. So they're roughly the same in cost, but I do think the stroke is more dangerous overall, though they are both pretty darn good. So maybe we'll save up for the stroke first. That way you don't have to worry about risk factors at all. Ultimately, oh, gosh dang it, I'm being too greedy with my points. That was so stupid. Why did I even do any of that? That was so completely meaningless. Whatever, anyway, I got distracted. Yeah. So if we focus on getting a stroke, well, that'll be fine. The aneurysm's still pretty good. We'll want both. The smoker, of course, does count as a risk factor, which means that she'll take extra damage in the circulatory system as well, which is still really good. So that's a thought. But yeah, either opening is pretty solid, and they both kind of play off very well off of each other. So yeah, you can get a lot of damage going in the circulatory system, and then use the collateral damage to really start killing the nervous system at the same time, which is pretty nice. All right, there we go. So nervous system's now going to start taking a lot of damage, -8. The nervous system's now taking more damage than the circulatory, partly because we did pick up that collateral damage booster, which is giving us an extra 30% damage there. Now I'm going to save up for the smoker, so that we will be able to pick up a brain aneurysm. We'll focus a lot of extra damage on the circulatory system by doing so, and the faster a system collapses, the better. After that's done, I think we focus on getting to the post-phlebitic and the pulmonary embolism, all of which are pretty good risk factors right now. Smoker. Actually, what we could also do is go for things like overweight. Now, one of the reasons that risk factors become really important in the Death campaign is the fact that they actually can reduce the cost of a lot of your diseases. Case in point, smoker makes the circulatory and the respiratory system a lot cheaper. That's pretty darn nice. Overweight can do that as well. We also have the booster, which makes overweight and obesity much better. But I am still going to focus on getting the aneurysm a little early. Once I have the aneurysm, maybe I will focus on becoming overweight. But yeah, cost reductions are amazing. It is a very viable strategy in the death campaign to simply sit back and pick up as many risk factors as possible so that you will be able to get cheap diseases and very suddenly drop a load of diseases upon your poor, unfortunate patient. Very viable strategy. But now we should be doing a load of damage to the nervous system. That is going to be the first one to fail. If we can get 4 points, we'll pick up the extra 20% resources. Upgrades always are going to be good for us. I do like those a lot, so let's go for these. I can get both, actually. Let's do that. Perfect. Grab you. Okay, now for 4 points, I do want to start working toward the deep vein thrombosis. I'm not too worried about going for a heart attack. I mean, we could if we really wanted to burn the circulatory system down, but with collateral damage, I think it's perfectly fine to focus down this route instead, especially since our doctors don't exist. They can't actually cure anything, so I'm not worried about focusing too much, all of my eggs in one basket, so to speak. We can worry about something else. Now, the good news is our nervous system is taking damage faster than his muscular system, which means we are currently outracing our opponent, and we will be able to get a system to collapse before they do. So that is nice. If we can get post-phlebitic for 16 points, that would do a lot of damage. Respiratory, 61% there. But obviously, post-phlebitic is better for only 2 more points. So we'll go for post-phlebitic first. But yeah, it does an absolutely ungodly amount of damage. Okay, we will go for the post-phlebitic like so. Now we'll save up for the pulmonary embolism. Muscles are going to start taking a lot of damage now. And we can actually test some stuff. So we know that the muscles went up by 62%, which means that this went down by 12. This actually tells me some stuff about the numbers as far as how the momentum works. I'm guessing every 1 momentum is 5% damage. In the life campaign, that actually would have been helpful to know, because I could have taken the momentum of a particular system and figured out what damage must be being done, which would have made it a little bit easier. I think you guys know what I mean. I'm not talking especially well right now, and part of that is because I have been recording for many, many hours straight today in preparation for a vacation that I will be taking with my wife. I am going to Arizona, which I am quite happy about, my old childhood home. So, yeah, we'll hang out a bit there, but I'm trying to get as much in the backlog as possible so that I will have videos for you guys while I am gone. As a result, though, I am mildly distracted and also quite tired. It is amazing that my voice has not failed yet, because it probably should have. Let's go for emphysema and then maybe lung cancer for 23 points. Or we could go for some more risk factors. Let's go ahead and pick up overweight, which makes the circulatory system even more vulnerable, plus immune damage. And, of course, remember that those have been increased by 50%, so I think originally it was 10%, and now it is 15%. A lot of people like focusing on the circulatory system really early on and go for the heavy overweight boosters because, as you can see, the circulatory system is a very effective system to kill. The nervous system is taking a ton of damage, the muscular system and the respiratory system taking a lot of damage, and all we've really done is focused almost all of our points right here. That is dangerous whenever you are dealing with an AI doctor that actually is trying to cure you, simply because every time you put all of your points in one place, you are just begging for the AI to start curing it and lock you out of the rest of the system, which would be very unfortunate if that were to happen. By the way, what upgrade do we need? 4 risk factors, eh? Okay. Well, let's instead go for the lung cancer. You're now taking a load of damage in the respiratory system. That one will fail pretty quick. So with the muscular system, and with 3 systems down, it's usually a foregone conclusion that your patient is going to die. We are way outracing our AI opponents, which is excellent. I wish I could say that I was getting some extra score for how much we are beating them, but no. 4 systems have failed. We're just going to grab all the points. I'm not going to bother picking up anything else. We can just grab all the points we want, and that will translate into extra score. It's also a much lazier thing to do. So let's just do this. Boom, ba-doom, boom, and our patient is dead. Can I grab that point? I don't think I grabbed it. Oh, well, that's fine. So we managed to get 186 bio points. It took 221 days, 0% recovery, and we are going to get a score of 7,944. Not too bad. Easily beat our opponents by focusing on the circulatory system. That is very powerful, guys. I love circulatory plus collateral damage. There are a lot of other places you can work. Don't get me wrong, the circulatory system is not the end-all be-all, and there are some scenarios where it really is not the best choice. But especially in the early game when you're first learning how to do this, That's a really potent combo. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed this video, and if so, you will consider hitting that like button, maybe leaving a comment, and subscribe if you have not already. Be sure to hit that notify bell as well, because that is the only thing that matters on YouTube these days. My name is Pravus, and I will see you guys next time.